President-elect Donald Trump trolls Justin Trudeau yet again. Jagmeet Singh throws a bit of a tantrum and walks out when a reporter asks him about being a Maserati Marxist or about lying that it's actually his or someone in his family's Maserati. Chrystia Freeland refuses to admit that not only are we in a $40 billion deficit, we're actually kind of in a $60 billion deficit. And then Justin Trudeau appears in front of the cameras on stage in Halifax, and he appears to be a bit of a fun guy. You know, he makes some jokes, he answers some questions, which is kind of strange because why can't he do that when reporters ask him questions or during question period? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage y'all to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. It does really help with the growth. Now, we're going to be taking a look at all those stories, so I hope you stick around for the full thing, and then we're going to end things off with the latest question period highlights. So sit back, relax, and let's get through this together. Here we go. If you're not following me on X, I highly recommend that you guys do that. I'm going to tell you why. Because last night, 12 hours ago, 13 hours ago, I posted this right here. I posted this screenshot of President-elect Donald Trump, President-elect, who said on his Truth Social account, "It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Trudeau of the great state of Canada." He's trolling Canada. He's trolling Justin Trudeau again, calling him the Governor of Canada. I look forward to seeing the Governor again soon so that we may continue our in-depth talks on tariffs and trade, the results of which will be truly spectacular for all. Okay, I posted this. This is 10:02 p.m. my time. Okay, that's just over 12 hours ago. And then you've got on CTV's social media account 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. So come on, folks. Come on. You want the news? You want it quick? You want it fast? Go over and follow me on X, Mistersunshinebaby. All right. The link is also in the description for those that need to click the link. Let's get into this video here, shall we?
Trump calling Trudeau the governor of the great state of Canada. Another apparent reference to his frequent joke of our country becoming the 51st state. Eric Ham joins me now. He's our CTV News political analyst with more. Eric, good morning to you. So Trump does not seem to be putting to rest this joke about Canada. I'm going to call it a joke. What's he getting at? Your reaction to this? Why would he say this again this morning? Is it likely in response to the Prime Minister saying yesterday that we may have to, in Canada, impose tariffs on the U.S. as a retaliatory measure if these 25% tariffs that Trump likes are put into place?
I think when we see Donald Trump use language like this, and he does it over and over again, what this is making clear is that Donald Trump is preparing to go to battle against a perceived enemy. And right now, Donald Trump sees Canada and Mexico as that enemy. And right now, he's using very demeaning language against both countries. Now, it's important to note that what Donald Trump is doing also is he's conflating two very separate issues. He's conflating the issue of the trade imbalance between the two countries, as well as the ongoing migrant crisis here in the United States. Now, it's also important to note that Donald Trump himself is the one who actually negotiated the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement. So if there's any imbalance against the United States, it actually has to do with what Donald Trump actually negotiated. We have to remember, not only did he negotiate that deal, but he was the first one to sign on to it. And so now what we're seeing here is clearly Donald Trump, I guess, thinks that he can get, or he wants, a better deal both on trade as well as on the issue of immigration. And the question is, how far is Donald Trump willing to go to get that? Is he going to try to break up the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement? And also, is he going to go through with these tariffs that would certainly be very debilitating on the United States? And it's also important to note that Donald Trump is not only looking at tariffs against Canada and Mexico, but also against China. So the United States is and consumers in the U.S. are looking at right now some massive hurt and pain as if these tariffs actually come down. And Donald Trump has made clear he knows just how debilitating they will be for the economy and for U.S. consumers.
Okay, so some analysts say these comments from Trump are gentle ribbing and we should almost see it as flattery. Others say it's a bullying tactic. How does Canada then negotiate with the U.S., with the Trump administration, when they may not be taking Canada seriously?
Yeah, I think that's the main question that Canada is going to have to answer. Also, too, we know that Donald Trump likes to win every news cycle. And so it's clear he wants to make sure that he stays in the spotlight and top of the mind of the media, which is why we're all talking about this. Because, of course, it's what Donald Trump does on his first day in office and what he does subsequently, I think, is what's going to matter most. Will he actually go through with these tariffs? We know that Canada has already been very aggressive on the migration front. And so, again, the question becomes, what exactly is Donald Trump prepared to do? And is he going to attempt to try to renegotiate once again the U.S.-Mexico-Canada free trade agreement? In addition to all of that, we already now are seeing that there are barbs being lobbed between Canada and Mexico with some of the comments made by President Claudia Sheinbaum about Canada. And so I think Donald Trump is loving all of this because now what he is seeing is not only is the United States going to war with Canada and Mexico, but now he's got both of those countries fighting against each other. And I think this is now a place where Donald Trump really wants and enjoys being, in a place where there's chaos, and it's chaos of his own making.
And he's not even in the White House yet. Eric Ham, thank you so much. Glad you could join us this morning. Eric is our CTV News political analyst.
Holy smokes, man. Look, they can try to go toe-to-toe against Trump. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. And Justin Trudeau's response to the original 25% tariffs that were threatened against Canada is that he's going to now have a retaliatory response. Instead of trying to comply, instead of trying to negotiate, Trudeau, on behalf of Canada, plans on threatening America with tariffs. This is not good. We're not suited for a trade war with America. And I get it. I get why he would try and do that, right? Because we have leverage. Canada actually has leverage kinda against America. We're their largest exporter. It's huge. We provide a lot economically for America. But that's about it. And we don't have any other leverage. And so when it comes time to, getting down into the weeds, I don't think Trudeau is doing the right thing. And I don't think he can get out on top if he goes and threatens more tariffs on America as a retaliatory response. That's just not going to work. It's like being bombed and firing off more bombs. It's just going to escalate. We've seen this, right? All the wars, the trade wars, all the real wars that are happening. Nobody wins in that instance. But that's my opinion, folks. I'd love to know yours. Next up, we've got Jagmeet Singh, who's not too happy when a reporter asks him about the Maserati. After True North revealed the NDP leader Jagmeet Singh was spotted in a Maserati on Parliament Hill, Singh says he nor any of his family members own a Maserati. A 2024 Maserati Levant ranges from $127,000 to $213,800. It's a lot of money for a car. Let's take a look.
Are you able to say whose Maserati you got into the other day?
It's definitely not mine, not any of my family, and it was a pleasure seeing you all today. Take care. Thank you.
Can you just clarify? Is it a staff member?
And then he walks out, and then that's it. He runs away from his problems. Typical Jagmeet Singh, right? Can't take any accountability. It's not mine. It's not anyone I know. It's not my family's. Dude, we all saw it. You're really going to try and gaslight your way out of this? That should be a crime. It should be a crime for a politician, a federal politician, to just lie like that. That doesn't make any sense. And speaking of lying like that, we have to take a look here at Chrystia Freeland, who's I don't know how she's going to lie her way out of this. This is not good. In a leaked report, In a leaked report, this is also why you should follow me on X, folks. Look at this. I posted this the other day, 280,000 views. Come on. What are you guys doing? Go follow me on X. Mistersunshinebaby. In a leaked report, chrystia Freeland, turns out that there's a $60 billion deficit.
Officials have leaked to the media that the deficit will be $60 billion or more. So is it going to be that, higher, or lower?
Mr. Perkins, because a Conservative filibuster has blocked the work of our Parliament.
Minister, the only filibuster is your unwillingness to produce the documents. But I would ask you a simple question. Is the deficit going to be higher or lower than the $60 billion your officials have leaked to the media?
I think that it is very important not to cast any doubt on Canada's financial credibility. So I want to take this opportunity to be very clear that Canada's fiscal position is strong
be above or below
and sustainable
$60 billion?
And continues,
yes or no? It's a simple question.
To be
Why won't you answer whether or not it'll be above or below $60 billion?
What's wrong with casting doubt on Canada's financial credibility or stability? Like that's ridiculous. Don't question it. You shouldn't be able to question it, folks. Look, this face right here, this coincidental freeze frame of chrystia Freeland, that sums up her job. That sums up her ability to actually be able to get anything done. That face right there, like drunk, right? Drunk and someone flashes a light on your face. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? We all can see that there's a massive deficit. Why are you lying to people? Why are you lying? This is why she's postponed things as long as possible. She's going to try and find a way to fudge the numbers. And that's why you're going to have the Conservatives, likely Andrew Scheer and other politicians, other people that have that law background. They're going to meticulously go through it. And they're going to find a bunch of crap. This is going to be the most controversial economic update. I'm telling you, mark my words. Next up, we're going to take a look here at Justin Trudeau, who's saying, let's not be that kind of country in Canada. What could he be referring to? Let's take a look.
Your thoughtfulness. I hope some of the things I said actually, pierce through the haze of challenging situations everyone's in. Canadians are fundamentally thoughtful about the kind of future we want, the kind of solutions we're going to put forward to improve our communities, to improve our neighborhoods, to build a better set of opportunities for our kids. And every election is about that as we approach what will be an election year next year. And my only request for everyone is to be really thoughtful and go into the choices you make with eyes wide open. I think there's a number of folks in different countries, and I won't point out any particular one, where folks are going to be wondering about the choice they may be made in elections. Let's not be that kind of country in Canada. Let's be deliberate about the choices we make. If we want to stop fighting climate change, if we want to re-legalize assault-style weapons, if we want to put back into question women's rights, if we want to scrap $10 a day childcare across the country and stop delivering free dental care to vulnerable seniors, then in a democracy, that's a choice people can make. Get rid of the CBC, too. That's a choice.
Hey, now we're talking.
But let's take on the responsibility as electors, as thoughtful agents of change in our communities, to be smart about, no matter how much we want change, let's not fall into an easy trap of voting for change for the worse. Canadians deserve better, and I know they're going to pick it.
Let's kick his ass out of office. Holy crap. This guy finally said something that we can all agree with. Let's defund the CBC. Day one, man. Come on. Are you kidding me? What the hell is wrong with Trudeau? Like, seriously. What the actual F is wrong with Justin Trudeau? You go to any polls. You look at any polling update. And he's absolutely tanking in the polls. Look at this one here. He went from 63 projected seats down to 47. Pierre's at 227. And even on the low end, 201 projected seats. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's not even close. Like, who does this guy think he is? He actually thinks that he stands a chance, and they're bragging. Oh, we survived the non-confidence. We survived. Bits is showing that the House doesn't have confidence in Pierre Poilievre. Like, oh my God. That's not how an election goes. An election is up to the people, not to the politicians. People, you and me, elect the politicians. They don't get to elect themselves. This is horse shit. He's the worst prime minister in Canadian history. Get his ass out of here. Get his ass out. Come on. And I mean, to add the cherry on top here, we got another clip. Same talk in Halifax. Let's see what he's got to say in this one.
But if you're a middle-class family, and if you're living in rural areas, we give a 20% top-up because we know you have to drive further to go to school, to drop to school or work. We're giving you that money back. And if you make a decision that reduces the amount of fuel you have to buy, you get a heat pump, for example, where there's a great program to get heat pumps that we're doing across Atlantic Canada, you actually keep more of that $800 that we're...
Bro, shut the hell up. I just replaced my furnace that sits 20 feet away from me right here. I just replaced my furnace. You know how much it was? It was $6,000 to replace my furnace. It was like 20 years old. It was on the kaputs. It wasn't good. Had to be done. And I asked the guy, I was like, hey, man, Northern BC. That's where I'm located. I said, hey, any rebates on this stuff? Probably should have asked beforehand, but he was here installing with his crew. And I said, any rebates on this stuff? And he's like, not unless you get the heat pump. And I laughed hysterically, almost like a psycho. He probably thought I was crazy. The heat pump. Okay. Entertain me. It gets to minus 40 here for weeks. I said, okay, what's the cost? I just bought a furnace for $6,000. How much would it have been if I bought the heat pump? Keep in mind, heat pump doesn't work for several months out of the year where I live. Useless. And he's talking about the East Coast. They also have harsh winters. You know what he said? He's like, man, it's like 25 grand. $25,000 for a heat pump and a furnace. Or $6,000 for a furnace. Am I missing something? That seems a little crazy to me. But you get a little rebate. Oh, here's a little bit of money back. Here's just a couple $1,000s. So it's not $25,000. It's $22,000 after your rebate. Come on, man. Come on. I'm dumb. I'm not that dumb. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all.
We're sending you because the carbon price will only cost you $700 or $600 or $500 a year. So it's a way of fighting climate change that puts money back in the pockets of people who are on the front lines doing that fighting, ordinary families. That's the policy. And it just took me 4 minutes to explain it to all of you. And in politics these days, we don't have 4 minutes nearly often enough. We're not having real conversations around politics now. We're having, 7-second TikTok videos. We're having a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Or a flag.
Yeah.
I'm around.
Yeah.
That's political discourse and debate.
Not just a bumper sticker, folks. Right here, look at this beautiful sticker. Keep calm and never vote Liberal. You want one? The link is in the description below. Click that juicy link that says buy a sticker pack and use code Sunshine for 15% off. Justin Trudeau just said it's a great idea to do so. He's promoting it. Even though this is about keep calm and never vote Liberal, which should be for him, he wants you to buy these. He wants you to proudly have it. It's awesome. Yeah. Hey, look, I agree with that.
Of course, it's easy to say tax is bad.
Taxes are bad.
Like Frankenstein when I was doing that, but okay. Fire bad. But having conversations about how we actually solve the challenges we're facing in this world in thoughtful ways, how we reduce our emissions and support hardworking families, that's a more complex answer than my opponents actually want you to have, want you to actually reflect on. And I remain confident that if Canadians really understand that there is a clear choice to be made about the kind of country we want to live in,
it's one without
do we bring everything we're doing to fight climate change to a screeching halt?
Yes.
because that's what's on offer from the Conservatives.
Yes.
No plan to fight climate change.
I'm glad we agree.
I wonder how many people will actually choose that.
All.
Because right now, however unpopular it may seem, our price on pollution is part of the most successful plan to fight climate change that is bending the curve on our emissions faster than any of our peer countries. And
nobody cares about your fucking climate change. Nobody cares. Times are tough, buddy pal. Times are tough. And we all got bills to pay. We all got furnaces we need to replace. $6,000. $6,000's a lot of money for a singular furnace. Sure, it's only supposed to happen every 20 years, but everyone's got groceries they need to buy. Everyone's got rent or a mortgage. Everyone's got bills to pay. And I'm sorry if the world is burning. I don't give a shit. I don't. Life is too expensive to care about that stuff. So take your taxes and shove them where the sun don't. Man, I was onto something good and I just had to stutter. Come on, man. Come on. We don't care about your taxes, Trudeau. We don't care about paying more money to solve turtles living longer. I want plastic straws because they're not going to disintegrate when I'm drinking out of a straw. Sorry. That makes me a bad guy. Then I'm a bad guy. I'll take it. I'll take it right on the chin. I'm a bad guy because I want to have plastic straws. It's the end of the world, I guess. It's the end of the world. This doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of money from regular taxes. There's a lot of money. A tremendous amount. But these people are so bad. They're so bad at managing. They're mismanaging all of the money. So they need to bring in more and more and more. And we're still running in massive deficits. It doesn't make any sense. I wish there was an actual professional economist, accountant that went through all this money and said, oh my God, what are these people doing? It's horrendous. No wonder we're struggling. They're lining their pockets. You should never have a rich prime minister. It doesn't make any sense. Trudeau's net worth from 9 years ago, he's skyrocketed to over $100 million. What? That doesn't make any sense. He's not a king. Don't reward him like a king. That doesn't make any sense. He's a public servant. He should be barely scraping by, using minimum resources, and yeah, he's got protection, he's got security, all of that, sure, but you're not living a lavish life. You're there working for people, so other people in the country, the 41 million plus people that live in Canada, can have an opportunity to live in a lavish life. You shouldn't be living a lavish life as the Prime Minister. This is ridiculous. It's all backwards. It doesn't make any sense. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of Trudeau, like with that speech. It's bananas to me. It's absolutely bananas. And to wrap things off with this video, we're going to take a look at the latest question period highlights, which do not make Justin Trudeau or chrystia Freeland look very good. But hey, that's kind of their brand. Let's take a look.
This weak Prime Minister has lost control of the borders, lost control of immigration, lost control of spending, debt, and inflation, and now he's lost control of his own cabinet. We've learned in the Globe and Mail today that his finance minister is having her people speak out against him. She wants a large deficit of $40 billion. He, on the other hand, wants an even larger deficit on steroids, bigger than $40 billion. We know that Canadians are going to lose from all this inflation, but which one of those two is going to win?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians lose when the Conservative leader votes against a dental plan for seniors. Canadians lose when he stands against a tax break for all Canadians over the next few months. Canadians lose when he blocks a school food program that's going to save parents $800 on groceries while putting more food in kids' bellies. Every single time the Leader of the Opposition gets up in this House, he stands against supports for Canadians, against growing the economy, against supporting a better future for all Canadians, because he's only in it for himself.
That's right.
He's literally Canada first.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, it's not clear that the finance minister is actually in it with him. She said, according to the Globe and Mail, the Prime Minister's office has given internal direction for an aggressive and possibly costly policy agenda that threatens to blow past spending targets she has already publicly stated for the government. She promised the deficit would be capped at $40 billion, acknowledging that if it went over, it would cause even more inflation. That means hungry Canadians lined up at food banks. So once again, will the government meet the minister's promise to keep the deficit under $40 billion?
Yes or no? The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
While we once again hear the Leader of the Opposition talking down Canada's economy, talking down Canadians, the Bank of Canada, it looks like it's going to be decreasing interest rates once again because inflation is back down within the target range. Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition is also perplexed because he doesn't let his own MPs speak out on anything that he doesn't stamp and approve. He has people follow them around with tape recorders so that they don't speak to media about anything that he doesn't pre-approve. That's not being Canadians' voices in this place, Mr. Speaker.
No, he doesn't.
You were doing so very well for the first number of questions in terms of members respecting that only one of their colleagues at a time had the floor. I'll ask members to please withhold their comments and let the one member speak and the one member answer. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister has admitted that deficits drive inflation. His minister admitted the same thing. That's why she said the deficit would not go above $40 billion. That was her guardrail. They weren't going to smash into that guardrail. She's like a bus driver saying she's going to come just short of hitting that $40 billion guardrail. And then some crazy lunatic comes in, grabs the steering wheel, and jerks it sharp to the left through the guardrail. Does he realize there's 41 million Canadians that are going to go off the cliff in that bus?
Wow. Great analogy.
Order. Order. Colleagues, the longer I take to get order in this place, the shorter question period in terms of the number of questions we'll have to ask. I ask for members, please, exercise discipline. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, while the Leader of the Opposition continues to talk down Canadians and the Canadian economy and indeed Canada, let me once again put it on the record. Canada is the best country in the world. And
it used to be.
Canadians are stepping up, got us through the pandemic. Canadians got us through the challenge of high inflation. Canadians will keep building a positive future for themselves by being there and showing up for each other. Unlike the Leader of the Opposition, who's voted against every measure that has been put on the table to support Canadians over the past years and continues to be in it only for himself.
Greg is trying to take away more questions.
We know the Prime Minister has lost control of spending, and now we see he's lost control of his own minister. We have a finance minister who won't tell us what the deficit is, and a Prime Minister who doesn't think about monetary policy, and that seems like a match made in heaven. But then again, maybe not. The Globe and Mail reports that, quote, tensions have risen between the Prime Minister's office and the Finance Minister's department, saying that the current dynamic appears to be similar to what happened with Bill Morneau before he quit. The Prime Minister bullies females, and he bullies finance ministers, and now he's bullying a female finance minister. How much longer is she going to put up with that?
Alors, s'il vous plaît.
Order, please.
Members to take their seats. The Honourable Member from Lakeland, I'll ask her, please, to not take the floor unless recognized. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
On this side of the House, we are united in working for
That's the Conservatives pissing themselves off. Literally anything but united. There's a literal rebel caucus within the Liberals. What a joke. Are they trying to fool us? You think we're dumb?
The chair has
Shut the hell up.
Stood up for longer than a minute, which would be one question. I'm going to ask members to themselves. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we are united in working hard for Canada and Canadians. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, the only would-be bullies in this House are directly opposite. But I am very comfortable standing up to them. I look forward, together with my colleagues, to tabling the Fall Economic Statement on Monday in this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
It's almost 2025 and she's now doing the fall economic update. Like, that's so funny.
Here to experience that. The honourable member. The honourable member for Thornhill.
So awkward. I don't know why the finance minister takes all of this abuse from the prime minister. She told Canadians that the deficit wouldn't go past $40 billion. That was her own self-imposed guardrail. Now she says everything's fine as her political career collapses, and so does her credibility, all because of this prime minister. 5 senior Liberal veterans and 3 political staffers confirmed to the Globe that the tensions have risen between her office and the PMO over spending. These are the same people who last summer said that she couldn't communicate. We know what the Prime Minister thinks of her, but why does she still have confidence in him?
Yeah! Wow. There you go. Little squeakers standing up.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
On this side of the House, we are united. And on this side of the House, we recognize what a privilege it is every single day to work hard for Canada and Canadians and to defend the national interest. That is what we are focused on every single day. And I would urge the MPs opposite to remember, this is a challenging time in Canada and the world. It is not a time for cheap partisan games.
She actually believes her own crap.
It's the finance minister who said over and over again that she would not go over her self-imposed guardrail of a $40 billion deficit. Now the parliamentary budget officer says that's yet another broken Liberal promise. We have no idea who's in the driver's seat anymore. Driving Canadians through that $40 billion guardrail off of a cliff as they pay more in inflationary spending on the backs of struggling Canadians. What we do know is that Canadians ought to take her driver's license away. I can give her another opportunity to prove that she can communicate. She can stand up here and tell us what the deficit is at the moment.
There you go. Why wait till Monday? Just give us a number.
Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I look forward to tabling the Fall Economic Statement in this House on Monday. And in the Fall Economic Statement, we will show that the government is maintaining its fiscal anchor, specifically reducing the federal debt as a share of the economy over the medium term. In addition, I expect the debt to GDP ratio we projected in the spring budget for fiscal year 23-24 will be met. Canada has the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7, the lowest deficit in the G7. This is good news for Canadians.
Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. It does really help with the channel growth, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.